Hello and welcome to Poetry Friday. How are you? How are you? I've decided a new feature of Poetry Friday will be that I'm going to ask you how you are twice, because I think it's a very common thing that when someone asks you how you are, you don't really answer honestly. So the first how are you is just to welcome you in, but the second how are you is to really ask you how you are. And how I really am is very tender-hearted this week. I found this week difficult for two reasons, which is I've never liked February. I think February is a spiteful month, and it's always the last death throes of winter, just when you really can't cope with any more. I have not in any way enjoyed the cold weather this week. I've stayed indoors most of the week. I don't care. I know I should be getting fresh air, but I'm just over it, and I'm just ready for spring. So I'm hunkering down, ready to emerge like a beautiful butterfly in the next week or so. And then the other reason I am sort of mixed up emotionally this week is because I've been clearing lots of belongings out, and I think when we clear things out, particularly things that we've kind of long ignored or forgotten about or have connections to particular times in our lives, it can stir up all the emotions from that particular time. So physically removing things and moving things about my house has literally churned me up this week. So that's how I really am. So with that in mind, I have chosen a poem called What Every Woman Should Carry, and it's by Maura, Dooley. My mother gave me the prayer to St. Teresa. I added a used tube ticket, Kleenex, several polo mints, furry, a tampon, pesetas, a florin. Not wishing to be presumptuous, not trusting you either, a pack of 3. I have a pen. There is a space for my guardian angel. She has to fold her wings. Passport, a key. Anguish at what I said, didn't say, when once you didn't need me. Anodyne, a credit card. His face the last time, my impatience, my useless youth, that empty sack, my heart, a box of matches. So, not perfectly well read this week. Last week, I even did National Theatre breathing exercises before my poetry performance. This week, I just wanted to get right in there, and I'm a bit like mincing my words, but never mind. So I like, this is a list poem. So a particular form of poem where it's a very effective format to use, I think, because it's so simple. It allows the lines to speak for themselves. You're not distracted by any kind of rhyme or meter, and there's something very powerful about a list. So very simple format. It's like this woman is just emptying out the belongings in her pocket, and what she finds there is a mixture of the mundane and then kind of snippets of thoughts and agitations and neurosis and past memories and worries, and that combination of combining real mundane objects that you would typically find in a pocket alongside the abstract and the strange, the things that we do carry with us but do not have material form, is very effective. I love the last line, that empty sack, my heart, a box of matches. This poem would not be as powerful without that very last phrase, a box of matches, because that empty sack, my heart, is a very powerful line, And I think we're very used to hearing poems that end on in a big flurry of emotion, and a big grand gesture or statement, and it just tempers it by just putting a box of matches, just dropping it there, just tempers that emotion down, and I think makes it a more effective poem. Yeah, and I think I picked it because I've been, thinking a lot about the effect that clearing things out have had on me this week, and I'm also planning to decorate my house, and it is just decoration, but it's more than that for me. I think material objects do have the power to make us feel better. I think the environment that we surround ourselves in has a huge effect on our well-being. And Michelle Gunderhan, if that's her name, I don't never know how to say her surname. Someone, please, for God's sake. In fact, no one needs to save me. I just need to go and bloody check and remember. It is lazy that I can never remember how to pronounce her surname, and I piss myself off. She's the presenter on Interior Design Masters, is it? Anyway, the interior design show that I love, and she talks about the home as a space for healing. So as you decorate and as you choose material objects and you choose colours and you choose textures and you choose objects, it is a form of healing for yourself and of grounding yourself in your home, and I really believe in that. And so I think I've chosen this poem as it's a nice poem, number one. But second of all, I like that it acknowledges the relationship that emotions have to material objects, and that they can all be jumbled together, and that it's worth spending time thinking about that, and maybe curating a life where the objects around you promote happiness and well-being as much as possible. Anyway, there's a whole mix and match of different things to think about there. Oh yes, I think the other thing I want to say was I like that poem as well, because I think a lot of us are experiencing, whether it's going to a coat that you wore before COVID or a handbag that you used to take every day to work on a commute, they're becoming these tiny time capsules to a time where we didn't have the pandemic, we didn't have coronavirus. And I think a lot of us are going through the process of recognising a time that's now gone. There's no going back to what our life was like this time last year. And that can be a process of grieving in a way, which it sounds like a big deal, but actually it's all these incremental changes and losses that can add up and make us feel a bit strange. Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling all over the place there. But what is my wish for you today? I think to find something like a material object that means something to you in your home, and to either wash it or clean it, give it some sort of veneration in your day, or wear it if it's meaningful to you, or perhaps completely the opposite. Maybe there's an object in your home that is causing you a lot of anxiety, and you either look at it and you don't like it, or it reminds you of something bad. Just get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay, so that's the lesson from Poetry Friday today. See you next week. This thing never works. I'm just going to use my finger. Okay, goodbye.